G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here, and today we're introducing a new car to the channel, which is this 2012 Honda Accord Euro Luxury. So we are going to be doing some mods to this car, but this is my missus' car, my girlfriend's car. We picked it up off one lady owner. It's an automatic, it's got 60,000 kilometers and it's absolutely immaculate. The car is 100% stock and it is the fully optioned luxury version. So it's got fog lights, sunroof, full leather trim, all the nice sill plates, floor mats, navigation, and yeah, just a 100% stock. Some might say it's a little boring, but this car is my missus' daily driver. Even though it had the lowest kilometers of any of these cars that we could find, and it was also the newest one, it was actually the cheapest price. So we got this for $13,000. Most of them with under 100,000 kilometers are going for about 15, which was just bonkers. And the car's actually been really, really well looked after. So the navigation screen, it's got an awesome sound system. I think there's 10 or 12 speakers. We've got tweeters, we've got speakers up there, speakers in the door, we've got subwoofers. It's got a 6-stacker, which is, you know, a little bit outdated now, but there's USBs in there, seat warmers. It's an Automagic with a reverse camera. It does have the paddle shift, so you can go into a sports mode and play around. It goes really, really nicely. All the luxuries, parking sensors, seat warmers. It's really, really good on fuel. And it's really, really smooth to drive, even though it's a front wheel drive 4-cylinder. It drives much better than my 2019 top of the range V6 Commodore. That's my work car. It's an absolute bucket of crap. But this, even though it's an extra 7 or 8 years older, it actually drives much, much better. And we're going to take it for a drive. We're going to start doing some mods today. The first of those being a drop-in panel filter from K&N. I picked that up from Elusive Racing in Springvale. They specialize in Honda parts, so they did me a really good deal on that. So it's a K&N drop-in filter. We don't want this car to be overly loud or obnoxious. It's my missus' daily driver. The next mod is we're actually going to lower the car about 30 mils, which is about my finger space there. So it's going to drop it nicely just above the tire so it won't scrape or scrub. And I've got a really special deal on some springs. Same deal in the back, 30 mil just above the tire. It's going to sit and look really, really nice. We do have to get rid of these dog paws. The lady was a bit of a pug fanatic, but we'll get rid of those. May or may not delete the badges. Night shades, those reflectors. As you can see, this is the updated model without the orange indicators there, so that looks really nice and classy. And the car already has a K-swap, which is a bonus. So I get to learn all about these engines before I put one in my Civic. But the engine bay is absolutely immaculate. Comes standard with a strut tower brace for the handling. I'm going to drop the panel filter in there soon, but we're going to do a quick drive and see what it drives like, see what it sounds like, see if there's any performance difference in it at all. Features inside are memory preset seats, 6-stacker, it's got 12 speakers, power everything, we've got some parking sensors, we've got leather steering wheel, satellite navigation, seat warmers. These are the most comfortable seats. They'd be great on a long range trip. Dimming rear view mirror. Sunroof. Leather throughout. Just a really, really, really nice place to be. Honda's really outdone themselves with this one. You've got all the different screens you can look through. And this is a 2012 model, so it's an old car. It's about 8 years old, but it's still much better to drive than my 2018-19 Commodore that I've got as a work car, which, you know, is fully optioned as well. So it's just a really, really nice car to be in, and it's a nice car to drive. It's great for long trips, it's great for being in. The seats are so comfortable, which is why we're not going to chop it up, we're not going to slam it on its guts, we're not going to add fancy wings and things like that. We're not going to do a sports exhaust because we want it to sound nice and classy. All of the parts going on this will be top of the range. So it's getting a K&N panel filter in the standard airbox. That was supplied by Elusive Racing in Springvale. Really good guys down there. Go see Kenny. He'll definitely hook you up with a deal. So we're going to chuck that in. They specialize in Honda parts, so they've got just about everything for your B series, D series and K series in stock, ready to go. So go and see the boys down at Elusive Racing for that. So we're going to go for a drive. We're going to stick that in just a moment and see if there's any difference and see what it sounds like. I am going to lower the car around 30 millimeters, which is about 1.5 inches for those overseas. And I'm going to use some top of the range TN super luxury springs. I've got those back at home. We're going to show you those. I'm going to do a full install on those, keeping these shocks, so it's going to be a nice, smooth, comfortable ride. It's just going to look a bit more aggressive and handle just that little bit better. As you will see in the engine bay pictures, there is a strut tower brace already fitted to this car, so it does handle the corners really, really nicely already, and it's fully independent all the way around. So just a beautiful, beautiful car to drive. I do have some subtle body kit parts coming for the car. I ordered them from over in Mother Russia, so I'm waiting for those to arrive. A little roof spoiler, a Type S roof spoiler, and a boot lip spoiler. And we'll look at getting side skirts later on down the track. I'm probably not going to put a front or rear lip spoiler on the car at this stage, mostly because they look horrible once you scrape them and scrub them once or twice, and I don't want to risk that on this really, really nice car. It's too good to trash with, you know, too much stuff hanging off it all over the place. So we'll leave that off for now. Probably will go with some side skirts. That'll really set the car off. And we're just tossing up, we're in a little bit of a debate at the moment about, we've got access to a almost brand new set of FK8 wheels. They're the 20-inch Civic Type R wheels. I'm debating whether or not to leave them black, which I don't think so. I want to probably paint them a very, very dark silver color. And then my missus is also saying, well, if we're going to spend money on wheels, why don't we just choose some different ones? But I don't know, I'm trying to convince her to keep it all OEM Honda and keep it classy, and I think those Type R wheels are going to be worth a bit later on down the track, so I'd really like to grab those if I can, but we'll see. It is her car and we are going to make things nice for her. She's got to be cool and comfortable. So and we do take the mother-in-law around quite a bit, and we use this car because it's a nice one. So it's got to be nice, it's got to be quiet, it's got to be compliant, and it's got to be classy. We don't flog this car much, so this is a rare occasion. We'll put it into sport mode and we'll use the paddle shifts. So we'll drop down to second. Very quiet, very smooth. We're at 6,000 RPM, 7,000. And just a really, really smooth car to drive. You can't hear a lot in the cabin. That's why we love it. So again, we don't want to ruin that. We just want to do some simple mods just to make the car look a bit cooler, go a little bit better, and sound a little bit nicer, but without taking away any of the daily drivability. Just play around with this paddle shift a bit. Drop it back to second. Twin cam power. Very smooth. Won't let you change down if you're going too fast, but paddle shift's the way to go. I know it's not a manual and some people will be crying, but as I said, we do drive the mother-in-law around in this, and this is the Mrs. Daily Driver, so a manual would be out of the question, and the auto is just too nice and too smooth to go past, so that's why we got one of those. Soaks up the bumps really well. So again, with the top of the range TN luxury lowered springs, we're hoping to keep that nice smooth ride, but be a bit lower to the ground and get a bit better handling, but without taking away any of that comfort. Fingers crossed we don't ruin it. Now this is the kind of mod that anyone can do anywhere. You don't need any tools. So all you need to do to install the panel filter is just pop out these clips here. There should be 4 of those, 5, and then this just lifts off. And look at that, filthy dirty. So we'll just replace that with the K&N. Alright, so this is the K&N panel filter they got from Elusive Racing in Springvale. I'm just going to pull that out of the plastic. There it is there. If anyone wants the part number, it's a 332430. And then that just replaces that one there. Yep. And that just drops in there like so. Push that back down. And then lastly, all you need to do is put this on so that no one chucks out your filter. So just give that a wipe. Okay, so first test with the panel filter in. We've got an empty industrial area. There's no cars around, so I'm going to put into sport in first. I'm just going to send it and see what happens. And that's the exact desired result. It's not too loud. You can definitely feel there's some extra pickup, and that's probably one because the new filter's clean and because it's high flowed. But nice subtle mods was all we were going for, and I think that was a success. And that's probably the easiest, best bang for buck mod you can do to any car. Sounds pretty good. I'm happy with that. Not too overpowering. You wouldn't even know it's there, but definitely an improvement over stock, that's for sure. G'day guys, it's the next day, Sunday morning. Bit early for me. My missus is still in bed, but I'm out here working on the car for her so we can get this done and we can spend the rest of the afternoon together. We're going to be installing some top of the range TN lowering springs. Now these ones are said to be 30 millimeters lower. They're the legit JDM TN suspension. Comes with a whole bunch of instructions that I can't read, so we'll get rid of that. That's the part number there. Now, as previously mentioned, this is the missus car. It's not a clapper, it's not $1,000 Civic like my project, and this is a really nice car, so we're going to put some really nice parts on it. So I went all out with the TN springs. These are the luxury master ones, so hopefully we don't lose any ride quality while dropping the car down around 30 millimeters. So from the ground to the guard we're at 69 centimeters, or from the center of the wheel cap we're at 38 centimeters. So we're going to bring that down to around 35 centimeters there, or 66, so it's going to come down just above the tire, which is exactly what we want. That means we shouldn't scrub on anything, it shouldn't be too bouncy. We're going to save the front bumper, and it's going to look really tough, which is what she wanted. After seeing a couple of Accords online, she decided that we did want to lower this one, and I went with the best of the best. So I went on to Google to find out what TN means, and after 20 plus years modifying cars and knowing that TN's been in the top 2 or 3 brands of all time as far as suspension goes and their reputation, I found out that TN means technical innovation. So the start of 2 words put together, TN. Just like the Japanese, to make a lot of sense like that. Okay, so firstly I'm going to do each corner of the car one at a time because I don't have a hoist and I have limited space. Because I'm going to do each corner, and this car's fitted with a strut brace, I'm going to actually take that off first so that when I drop the suspension out it doesn't twang and fly off because the towers are going to flex. So you'll need a 12mm for the strut tower brace, and you'll need a 14mm for all of the other bolts. So there's 3 bolts holding the shock in at the top, 1 holding the springs into the shocks, and then the 3 for the strut tower brace. I'm going to take that off now. Alright, so what we're dealing with here is pretty much exactly the same as the Civic. You've got the fork down the bottom, the strut at the top, so should be pretty simple to get out. Alright, so here it is. That wasn't easy at all. This stupid split fork design that Honda have makes it really difficult to get everything out without taking out the drive shaft of the lower control arm, but I managed to squeeze it out. These are the old springs and shocks. Nothing wrong with them. The car's only got 60,000 Ks, so what I need to do now is stick an Allen key in there and then loosen off this nut here. I've got some spring compressors which I'll just put on there just for safety, and we'll get this off. There we go, still brand new. All the bushes on that are perfect, so we're going to obviously reuse all of that. Bump stops are good. There's no oil leaking or anything from those perfectly good shocks. Okay, so I've got the front passenger side one in. I managed to absolutely smash my thumb, so that's going to be nice and black at work on Monday. But yeah, she's all in. Over to the back. Alright, so over to the back. Never seen anything like this before. We've got like some kind of wishbone with the shock connected to the knuckle. Up the top looks like it's probably pretty similar to most cars, but around the back it's a bit weird. Alright, so in the back of the car, just like on a Silvia, the strut towers come up where the parcel shelf would be, and I'm not really comfortable doing that to my girlfriend's car, so I might get around and do the other front one, and then we might send this off to a professional to do, because I'm not going to wreck her car and hear about it for the rest of my life. As you just found out, I'm not going to be lowering the back of the car today because I don't want to wreck my missus' perfect interior of a basically brand new 8-year-old car. But we may as well measure the wheel gap now. So that's at 70.5 centimeters. So we should see that come down to about 67 centimeters. Or from the center of the wheel, that's at 40, and that should come down to about 37. I have to say I'm pretty defeated. I've done the fronts, I've smashed my thumb, I've got a blood blister on my finger, somehow cut my arm on I don't know what. But we got the fronts in. It was a bit of a mission, not going to lie. It's way harder than the fronts of the Civic, even though they're a similar setup. For some reason, just nothing wanted to go where I wanted it to go. I'm going to go and pay somebody to do the back end of the car. I'm not going to be responsible for damaging the parcel tray or the leather seats or wrecking any of the interior stuff, so I'm going to pay for that. I'll get the wheel alignment done at the same time, but the front has come down 30mm exactly. Hopefully it doesn't settle anymore once we start driving the car. So that brings us to the end of another video. We've successfully fitted the panel filter. We've got improved throttle response, a bit better sound. It's not too overbearing, so Mrs. is very happy with that. Simplest mod you can do. I've managed to lower the front of the car with the TN Luxury Master front coils, and I'm going to pay someone to do the back ones because I'm not going to be responsible for wrecking the interior of the car or breaking any clips or anything like that. I'll let the professionals do that. Plus it does need a wheel alignment now that we've lowered the car, so I'm going to get that done at the same time. But yeah, thanks for watching. I know this one's not crazy turboing mods, and no, we're not going to turbo the Mrs. K24, not yet anyway. But make sure that you take your bruised up fingers, click like, click subscribe. Don't smash your phone, don't smash the like button, just click it, and we'll see you in the next video. That is going to cane in the next couple of days.